What's up, everybody? And today we're checking out United States military history. This is by decoding data. I will leave a link down below. Someone said to me, they sent this to me and said, literally, the US has been at war since the very beginning of the United States. And so I had to watch this. I had to sit here with my tiny little SA-80 and watch this video and see how many wars the United States. I don't know why I picked that up then. I just saw it behind me on the camera. I had to watch this video and see how many wars that the US has actually been in. This is by decoding data. I will leave a link down below to the OG video. It doesn't need sound. I think it's just music in the background. We'll watch it. Let's find out what the US has been up to, shall we? You know what it's like. They just love kicking off with people, don't they? Like the drunk guy at a bar, aren't they? It's constantly kicking off for people. Let's have a look. The American Revolution has to start with that, doesn't it? Cherokee versus American. Interesting. The Choctaw was with them with that one. We have the Northwest Indian War. These are wars, I think, not specific. No, these are, yeah, because look at the distance of that. That's like 5, 6, that's 8 years. Then this is 2 years. That's 4 years. It's okay. So these take a long time to go through. Okay. Isn't it ironic that it's usually the people that they fight against ends up becoming America's allies? Look at that. Sweden was helping them with that one. Interesting. Okay. Also, some of these words I can't really... These names I can't really pronounce. Oh, look, the UK was back in as an enemy again in that one, in the 1812 war. Creek. Red Stick Creek? What? Never heard of that before. Southern United States. Interesting. Some of these I've never heard of before. First Seminole. Interesting. Obviously, there's a lot of battles here between Native Americans, isn't there? Unfortunately. Which is a shame, isn't it, really? Because if only they worked together, there could have been something even more powerful. But that's a subject for another... I know about that one, Texas Revolution. I know about that one. But yeah, that's another subject for another video. Or maybe it's this one I know about, the Mexican versus American War. Whoa. Is that another Native American war? Yeah, it must be. God, it went on for 8 years. Holy, and this one went on for 9 years. Jeez. And it's not even that long ago, is it? So here we go. Anti-slavery settlers versus pro-slavery. Puget Sound. Never heard of that either. Whoa, Rogue River. Look at this. Rogue River people? What? That's a weird one, isn't it? Yakima. Okay. Second Opium. Here we got the British, the US, and the French all against China here. Here's another one in Utah, the Nauvoo Legion. This is the second one I've seen with like a modified American flag, and it makes me think that this is some sort of like rebel group that popped up. Interesting. John Brown's raid on Harper's Ferry. Mexico was allied with the US with this one. Interesting. Holy, the American Civil War. Look at that. That's crazy, isn't it? That was like the biggest one on land in the US. On mainland US, that is. More independent fighting with Native Americans. One in Colorado. I wonder whereabouts in Colorado that took place. because that's where we ended up kind of setting base with the bus. I feel like there's a lot of these that I don't know much about and I'd love to know more about. Also, can we not... It feels like a lot of these smaller wars between Native Americans, I wonder if they are more of a larger thing and you could call it one larger thing, or if they're so substantial enough to have individual names for each one, like Powder River, Red Cloud. I mean, that went on for 2 years, that one. And this one even longer. 8 years, this one. Sheesh. Okay. Over in Korea here. Is this considered the Korean War? 1871? Surely not. No, not 1871. No, it's not what I'm talking about. Korean War was way later, wasn't it? Modoc. Never heard of that. Red River in Texas. Again, there's always been a lot of fighting in Texas. Here we go. I wonder if... See, these are both including Texas here. I wonder if one led to the other. If something happened at the end of Red River here to lead into this Las Cuevas with Mexican bandits. Okay, we've got more here with Native Americans. Jeez. Been fighting for years, haven't they? For a long time. I didn't think it was this brutal, this amount of, like, wars. I don't know if you would consider them wars as you would battles or what, but... just seems to have gone on forever, doesn't it? Another one in Colorado that went on for a year. Pine Ridge Campaign, another one that went on for a year. I don't know what Gazistas are. Pretty much all of them down at the bottom here says US or US allied victory. Some of them say inconclusive. I don't know what that would mean necessarily, whether everyone just kind of give up or what. The Spanish versus American War. Interesting. Cuban revolutionaries and the Filipinos were against these as well. Interesting. Another overseas. We've got a couple overseas ones here. And again, like these two here, this went on for 2 years and this went on for 14 years. They're in the same location in the Philippines, so it makes me wonder if there was some sort of transition between the two and one caused the other. Boxer Rebellion. Did we do a video on that not long ago? I think. Another internal one here. Borders. Why is Germany involved in this one? Why did Germany get involved in that? Okay. In Nicaragua, Cuba, Utah, Colorado again. So another internal fight here in the early 19th century. In the early 20th century, sorry. US, Mexico. Operation of Haiti. Again here, look. Straight in the same area. So I wonder if, yes, they have different names for these two things or whether they're just one leads into the other. But look, they went on for a long time. That was 8 years. And that one was, holy, that was 15, 16, 17, 18. Sorry, 15. That was 19 years, that one. Holy. 19 years that was going on for. That's mental. Obviously, World War One. Was it? Yeah, I mean, the US didn't have that much. How much influence did the US have on World War One? I don't really know much about that. Let me just Google it real quick. Because you don't really hear much about the US with World War One, do you? So they arrived in 1917. And they did help with the British, French, and Allied forces in victory. So they did pop in at the end. What did I say? By the time the armistice, more than 4 million Americans had served in armed forces, and 116,708 lost their lives. I know that America was involved with World War One, but every time you hear about America's involvement in the World Wars, it's always about World War Two, isn't it? It's always about how they helped with Normandy. And so I think because World War One is so overshadowed by the Second World War that you don't like. I just don't know as much about that one. I think a lot of people could probably agree with me with that one. Is you just don't know, you don't learn too much about World War One compared to World War Two. So yeah, I don't know the extent, and especially don't know the extent of Brazil's involvement and Portugal's involvement, and Japan's involvement. Like, these are all things that I want. I know that obviously the Ottoman Empire was against us with Germany and all that lot. Like, I know the outline of it, but I feel like I should know more. I know more about individual battles, like the Battle of the Somme, right? Like, I know about things like that, but I don't know the overarching politics of World War One, which I really should. Russian Civil. Yep. Last Indian Uprising. Whoa. 1923, so just under 100 years ago. World War Two, obviously. I mean, look at the map. It's literally the whole world. Apart from like small little areas, is literally everyone else, isn't it? It's crazy that. Okay, here's the Korean War coming up. See, I didn't know the UK was involved in the Korean War. I didn't know that. Did not know that. Vietnam. I didn't know that Australia and New Zealand were involved in Vietnam. Did not know that. Lawton Civil. Don't know about that. Lebanon Crisis. Don't know about that. Bay of Pigs invasion. I think I know bits about that. Bits about it. Dominican Civil. I know bits about that one as well. Korean DMZ conflict. Oh, is this the Korean War that I know more about then? And is that why I was getting confused? Is this considered the Korean War? I wish it like had like the general terms for some of these. Cambodian Civil. Never heard of that one. And that one went on for 5, 6, 7, 8 years. That went on for 8 years. I don't know much about that. Multinational intervention of Lebanon. Invasion of Grenada. Don't know much about them. Attack on Libya. I know about that. Obviously, we're getting closer towards our time here, so we're going to know more about it, aren't we? Tanker. I don't know that with Iran. Invasion of Panama. Think I know bits about that. Gulf War, obviously. Obviously. Although, I didn't know some of these other countries got involved. Iraq no-fly zone operations. Here's where we're getting into the usual stuff. Whoa, what's this with Somali? First US intervention in the Somali. I don't know if I know much about that, to be honest with you. I don't know much about that. Bosnia, I know a little about that. Intervention in Haiti. Argentina and Poland helps with that. That's interesting. Kosovo, yeah, obviously I know about that. Afghan. Well, this is the first one. It says US defeated at the bottom. Ooh. I mean, you could consider it a defeat, couldn't you? And I wouldn't say US. Well, this is a video about US military. You would say ISAF defeated, wouldn't you? Would you consider it a defeat? I mean, would you consider the war in Afghanistan a defeat of the US? I think you would to some extent, because the objective goal was to get rid of ISIS, the Taliban. And they didn't. They ultimately took government in Taliban, didn't they? So you would call it a US defeat, unfortunately, wouldn't you? I think it's a bit more complicated than that. Like, it's not like the US was defeated. It's more that they weren't successful and then got out, isn't it? So it's kind of a complicated one. I guess they're all complicated though, aren't they? Iraq War. Inconclusive. You could also say that's the same with Afghan. Second intervention was Somali. Operation Ocean Shield with Somali pirates. That's, well, I was well, yeah, I guess I was a part of that. I was more a part of Operation Cougar, Op Cougar it was called, where we were in the area making sure there was no Somali pirates around. So yeah, you consider it. And it was in that time. So yeah, it was probably part of this as an overarching thing. Operation Ocean Shield. Although we just called it Op Cougar. Libya, yep. NATO forces. Operation Observant Compass. Don't know anything about that. American-led intervention in Iraq. Yep. American-led intervention in Syria and then into Libya. I wonder if they'll make a video. This is the end of the video, I'm pretty sure, yeah. I wonder if they'll make a video in another 5 years' time with another, like, 50 different wars on the end of it. Let me know what you think. There's a lot there that I don't know about. And there's a lot where, because it doesn't use regular terminology, like it uses their official names by the looks of it. It's hard for me to be like, oh wait, is that the Korean War? Was it last time they were in Korea and stuff like that? So there's that. It also made me realize there's a lot of stuff I just don't know, and I consider myself, you know, a bit of a history buff. Although yes, I lean more into medieval history. Shout out to Dan Jones' Henry V book, very very good. But I feel like I don't know as much as I probably should about World War One. It's always been the concentration of World War Two for me. And so, yeah, and I know, like I said, individual wars, but I don't know about the actual politics around what happened. And obviously, I don't know a lot about... Whoa, actually, Oh, no, sorry. It's because I rewinded the video a little bit. The last Indian uprising was in 1923 in Utah. Like, I don't know enough about that, and I feel like I should. I feel like I want to learn about stuff like that. I think overall, this video has just made me realize that I know so little about the military history, not of just the US, but of the world. And I think I should know that stuff. We all should know that stuff, shouldn't we? So maybe we should watch some more history videos. Let me know what you think in the comments section down below. I'd love to know your thoughts. I'll leave a link to the original video down below as well. And until next time, I love you all. Have a wonderful day. Goodbye.